Hey everybody, AZ 80s Girl back with you, and I'm continuing my series with Jem and the Holograms, original dolls from the 80s. So, getting so close to so many other fashions, all those dolls behind you in my case, they're going to be coming out soon. So, roadster, stage, fashions, galore, whatever I have, I'm bringing out to you. So, we're going over today, Rio, band manager Rio, and Rock N Curl Jem. Rio Pacheco was the band manager slash Jerrica's boyfriend, and he also was supposedly in love with Jem too, and there was always a dilemma of him being so confused and which one he liked best. And Jem, I remember Jerrica feeling bad, oh no, did he like me more? And I'm like, what the heck, you're the same person. So, and she was so conflicted because she couldn't tell him who she really was. So anyway, Rio. So we're going to go over Rio and Rock N Curl Jem. So I'm going to set Rock N Curl Jem aside, and I'm going to go over Rio first. So Rio, not a very attractive doll. I thought he was quite ugly for a doll. They did use, it's pretty similar to the Maxi line of dolls, Rob. Body type and head, face is pretty close too. Rob's blonde, and then obviously Rio is purple. There's different versions of Rio. There's some that have like a really shorter hair and some are a little bit longer, bright purple. In my other episode, Glitter and Gold Rio, his hair is darker. It's a darker, longer purple hair. So I only have those two. I know he came with a lot of different fashions, just like a lot of the girls did. I only have the two. There's about 9 fashions that he came with, or you could have got back then. There was also a black jacket, band jacket with Jem in the back. That was for him. It was like a mail order thing that you could have gotten by sending so many things in or something like that. I never got that. It's kind of a rare thing to find. You can probably find it on eBay or Etsy now for a higher cost than you probably want to pay, but that's out there. So Rio came with the cassette like all the other dolls, and his was white and it says Rio on it, the Jem theme and 2 other songs. So I'm going to play this in there. I think it's on the instrumental side, so they each all have instrumental sides. Yeah, so it's Jem and the Holograms theme song, instrumental, so just leave that over there. Actually, I'll put it down. Okay, so Rio came with his purple sneakers, no socks. A lot of his fashions, most of his fashions do not have socks. I don't know if there's any that have socks. But he's pulling off the no sock thing and the peg pants. They're like a pleated peg pant, purple pants. Very Miami Vice-like. And then his jacket. Let me take his jacket off. Now, definitely be very gentle taking his clothes off. I found a lot of Rio dolls out there, and I have several that just have no hands. Their hands just break off, and I'm not sure how it happens. They're just big hands. So are the same with the Jem dolls. I mean, their Jem hands are big too. They're a bigger doll. So if you're trying to shove something on their hand, over their hands and stuff, be really careful. So that's his jacket and his shirt. Let me just show you his shirt here. It velcros all the way off. It's a yellow cotton shirt, and you know, he's definitely ripped. And you just make sure that your Rio's in good shape, okay? So no stained shoes. Mine actually has like a pin mark. Possibly somebody chipped something out of his arm. And then it just velcros on the back. He has some muscles, like I said. He's a very shapely dude. And, you know, he's definitely a built boy doll, okay? So his pants are purple, like I said, with the pleated and pegged. They have a white belt with a gold stitched on buckle. His yellow shirt's got the pink and like greenish zigzag on there. And they actually make this shirt, t-shirt, this is more of like a cutoff. But they do make a t-shirt like I'm wearing as this shirt. So you can always, if you see somebody wearing this shirt, they're wearing a Rio shirt. And then his face is just plain, he's a little darker toned than the doll, the girls, but darker toned, and then the purple hair. So that's what he looks like. Purple shoes, and then the jacket. It's about a cotton type of jacket, stripes. There's like orange, red, teal, and black stripes on there. And that's the front. There's no fastener to fasten it closed. It just hangs open. There's a fake little button, and it has some shoulder pads in there to make him a little more statuesque. Sexy man, I guess. So I always recommend putting the arms back when you're putting on jackets. It just seems to be a little easier to get on, and then you kind of adjust as you go up, okay? And you fix them there. And you can see his pleated pants, purple. These are like a purple pants. And then the shoes, you just start going over the toes and then kind of squeeze because they're rubbery, so it's not like you're gonna bust them. Squeeze them over his heel. And it's the same with this side. They're not labeled left or right. They're pretty much straight shoes, so either side's fine. And they have like the little laces in the mold of the plastic. Okay, so that's Rio. Now Rio came with a briefcase. This is the Rio briefcase. Mine's actually missing one of the handles, so it kind of stays open. If you have two handles, they should actually snap together and keep it closed. So it's a hard plastic. It's like a light purple briefcase. The little zigzag something on there. Very 80s. Like that. And he came with the purple comb. Him and Synergy both came with purple combs. And the same color stand. My stand's kind of not the greatest shape. You can see where there was a melt mark there. Still says Jem. It's a purple stand. And as I said in different segments, his stand is actually, his peg actually is a short, wide base, wide peg, okay? His leg is bigger, so it has to stretch into his calf. So mine does have some stress marks from stretching onto the calf, and it's actually kind of loose. I have seen some stands that people have just glued them. That's why. I forgot. It's broke. So at the bottom, there should be two of these little pegs sticking out, these little posts, and there's only one. So 1.5, it busted. So I have seen people that just have taped it down or glued it in there. You can do whatever you need to. He also can use these stands. It's not really wide enough for his waist. These other stands that you can buy, you probably need to find one that does fit a Ken doll, because this is for a smaller waist doll. So I only have 2 Rios, and I just deal with what I have. So that is Rio Pacheco. So, band manager. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go over Rock N Curl Jem. And I'm just going to give you what information I know about everything on all these segments. I'm just having fun going through all these. So, she did not come with a stand, so I'm using one of mine, 12-inch doll stand. So she, in her box, was just a small, thin box. All the other Jem dolls were probably a big size box from here to here. I don't have one to show you right now, but they came with wider boxes. Now hers was a small, narrow box. She did not come with a cassette, and she did not come with, I don't think she even came with a poster, and no stand. So this, I read, was more of an inexpensive doll for those who couldn't afford the other dolls. So this was released to have just one of those types of dolls out that people could afford better. So there's a ton of these out there. I've seen tons and tons of Rock N Curl Jems. Now Rock N Curl Jem was probably maybe the second or third mold doll of Jem that came out. There was probably, let me think, 3, 4, 5 total, if I'm counting them all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possibly 5. And in another segment, I'll go over all the Jem dolls that I have and show you the differences between them all. So her face was a very pretty face. Probably one of the prettiest ones. Flash and Sizzle is probably my favorite, but she's a pretty face. Just, you know, the pink and blue eyeshadow makeup and such. Big poofy hair. And I'm going to show you what she came with as well. So thankfully she still came with a comb and a microphone. If you find a light pink comb and microphone, these are to Rock N Curl Jem. So there's, like I said, a lot of Rock N Curl Jems out there, so these combs, or big combs, are for her. And she has a lot of bright matchy pink plastic stuff that she's wearing. So she has pink heels that they're straight. A lot of fashions have these pink heels. They can get mixed in. That's okay. Clashes are really close to these. There's a bunch that are close to that. And then her tights are bright pink. Now, Clash's tights, as I went over hers earlier, is a little bit of a darker pink with silver. Rock N Curl's is like a brighter, lighter pink with silver metallic lace through her tights. So that's the Rock N Curl Jem tights. She only has a one-piece dress with, you know, one-sided, one shoulder, and it velcros all the way, you know, except to here. This has a silver lame, a little ruffle around it, so they do show some wear over time. Her purple bodysuit is like a stretchy thing. It's like almost like a bathing suit. And it has some silver polka dots on it. They definitely have worn off on mine, so you don't really see much of this polka dots. There's just a little bit here and hit and miss. There's the attached, these are all attached, stretchy, like pink lace bow, one at her top here. And these were all loose, so she came with the pink bow for her hair and a purple one. And sometimes it's rare to find both when someone is selling them on eBay or Etsy. You know, they're just loose, so they might be around, but, you know, whatever you want to do. She had two for some reason. I think if anything, they gave her two if you wanted to braid her hair straight down and then tied at the bottom. So you had one at top and one at the bottom, because that's mainly what the Rock N Curl Jem was about. She definitely wore this outfit in one of the couple of the cartoons, and her hair was longer and a little curly, and those, if I can recall that. So they made this one long, and you can do what you want with it. Like, I think you could curl it at that time if you kept it well. This is not kept well. If you can see, mine is just a fuzzy, big fuzzball mess. So I just kept it back. It's just definitely fuzzy. It does have the blonde and the pink in it. There's still some pink in mine. And they give her a little more of a blonde, bangs. So she has bangs. She has the bright pink plastic wavy bracelets that went over her each hand. So one on each side. And then with those, you just always, there's a little slit where the bracelet goes over the hand. So just be careful with the hands. So there's a little slit where you can slide it over their fingers and then just pop it onto her wrist. Okay. She is the only doll of the Jem, each of the Jems herself, that does not have flashing earrings. It's another thing that was just a costly thing. So they wanted this to be an expensive doll. So they just gave her holes to put earrings. So she has the pink silver hoops in each side of her ears. So if you see big hoops, these are for Rock N Curl Jem. The gold hoops are for Rio. So those are the two that have the hoop earrings that I can recall. So if you see a Jem doll that has a big doll that has big poofy hair and holes in her head, those are for Rock N Curl Jem. So this is Rock N Curl Jem. Like I said, I have a lot more that we can go over. I'll be comparing all the Jem dolls and such. And stay tuned.